guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Stephanie. Today I wanted to sit down and explain to you guys what is in my kids' notebooks. This is a big happy planner. I did not go out and buy a full happy planner. What I did was I made my own. I went out and bought the disc, bought the hardcover, actually bought two because this is the other child's one, notebook. And then I bought the undated monthly extension pack, and put that in here. So let's get started. So first of all, when you open it up, this is basically just notes. Like this I kept here because I need it to put into my catch-all planner, and stuff. This is the change dates to the extended school year, also known as ESY. This is just notes on different things that needs to be moved into here. January is when Happy Planner came out with this monthly layout. When I started, I thought I was going to use it for one notebook for both kids. I quickly realized that was a bad idea. For those of you who don't know, I have two boys. Both are autistic, both are low functioning. So I thought I would use it all for one kid, but I realized that was a bad idea very quickly. So I keep everything on the monthly spread. I'm a visual person, so to see it laid out on a monthly spread is so much easier for me. And two, I'm not really sure how to word this. So basically the issue has been like the teacher and the school is like, oh, it's happening a lot. And then when you look at it, it's only happening once every 4 weeks or whatever. And I'm like, that's not, yes, it's intense and it's bad or whatever, and that's not great, but it's not as bad as what they make it sound, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, anyhow, moving on. So if you've run into that, because I've been able to basically shut them down with going, oh, well, it only happened here, and then, oh, look, it only happened here, and, you know, it only happened here, like, it's only happening once a month. So, anyhow, just something that I have found. So, everything's on here. I write, Tristan has a ABA therapist. For those of you who don't know, that stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis, that comes out and works with him at the school. And he gave the school things to work on. And so we get a behavior report every week, and it has I think it's just 2. It might be 3. I think it's just 2. I've got it in front of me. Let me look. Yeah, 2 behaviors that they're working on. Because you don't, I actually was surprised they worked on 2, because typically they say only work on 1. Maybe, well, I guess maybe 2. But anyhow, they're working on 2 behaviors. And this is January. He was still having some behaviors. So it's BX for behavior report, and then the initial or the abbreviation for the behavior that was being tracked. So I kept track of that, kept track of absences, doctor's appointments, meetings, so on, and so forth. This page, no idea how, I haven't used it at all. I have no idea how to use it for my purposes, so we just leave it blank. If I figure out a way, if I think of something, I'll let you guys know. If you know of something, then let me know. Okay, so then the daily to-dos is basically my note section. The daily to-dos is for little notes on little things, like maybe I got a quick phone call from the school, so I'll just jot that down. I did not utilize it in January because, like I said, I was still trying to figure out how I was going to use this. I usually will put more detailed notes here. Again, didn't use it in January. February, same thing. I track the behaviors and all that. And I did track I'm not the greatest at this, but I'm trying to get better tracking the weather. If it rained, because if it rained, he tends to have a worse day. And the worse the storm is, the worse the day, pretty much, is how that typically goes with Mr. Tristan. Again, still was trying to figure all this out in February. March is where I really started to get my footing on this thing and really figure out how I want to use this. So, March, kept good notes on all of that, calls from nurses, doctor's appointments, behaviors if it rained, all sorts of things. I kept track of it in here. And we're having monthly meetings because his hours had been cut by the school. And that's a whole other situation. So on this page, I basically kept short notes. You know, he started an additional dose of some medication. There was no electric at school. Email from the teacher. The school nurse called. Those sorts of things. I kept just short little notes in here about day-to-day stuff. Kept short little notes in here. And then back here, all of this. This is notes from March meeting. All of this is my personal notes, my point of view of what happened at the meeting, and some things afterwards. So I keep detailed notes on those sorts of things in here, also in this notes section. April, I haven't got it completely up to date yet, but I'm working on getting that up to date. I have little notes written everywhere. So I've got, again, same thing. Noted the teacher walk out. There's no school for 2 weeks in April. That sort of thing. Here's some of my notes that I've written on some things that happened at home, because a week or two ago, yeah, I guess it's been a couple of weeks, I decided to start tracking because we're trying to get in with a applied behavioral analysis here at presently, and I'm keeping notes for them. This is what they call the sloppy copy, meaning the handwritten copy of the written notice, which is the school's version, like minutes of the meeting or whatever. Again, same situation, and again, same situation. Got notes here of things that needs to be written inside the notes sections. And this has been really helpful. I'm telling you guys, if you're having any issues with the school, I highly suggest, especially if you're like me, I'm a visual person. We had a meeting on the 15th, and he had a rough week the week before because his paraprofessional was out, and it really messed up his week. And there were some things that happened that last the week of the 7th through the 11th that hasn't happened, and they actually came at me, or came and was like trying to say that it was something that happened recently, and I was able to go back through here and go, I was like, no, it hasn't happened in a while. And I was like, hang on, give me a second. So I started looking through here, and I was looking through here too, y'all, and went back, and I was like, oh, that hasn't happened since March. We haven't had a big incident since March 26th. That was the Monday after spring break. I'm like, you know, and that's so till May 7th, March 26th to May 7th, we haven't had an issue. And so I was able to basically get them to go, oh, yeah, you're right. It just seems like, and, you know, that sort of thing. So seriously, if you're having issues, keep track of that stuff. Keep track of everything. Don't let it, even if you're not having issues, keep track of everything. You never know when it's going to turn into an issue. June obviously hasn't happened. I've marked ESY. So the next section that we have in here is the behavior reports. So every week he gets a behavior report, and all the report is just the date. Excuse me. So let's just say it's a behavior. It happened at 9:16 to 9:17. It was a 1-minute thing. They still circle it for, 9:15 to 9:30 and write it down. So this is all the behavior therapist wanted. I asked that the school, his paraprofessional, actually writes a little like incident report type thing to kind of give me ideas to what happened, because this really doesn't tell me nothing, even when days that he doesn't, he writes something like just to let me know, like he worked in a classroom for a good period of time. He, participated really well in speech and those sorts of things, or he didn't participate well in speech, whatever the case may be. So I've got that. That is all the behavior reports, and they are all tabbed with the week. So the week of the April 23rd to the 27th, and so on and so forth. And that goes back here. So that is all behavior reports from, I think the first one was in December, right before Christmas break. I think we had 2 days before Christmas break. It's on there. The next section is the IEPs. And actually I got to where I stopped printing out the whole thing because we're having, like I said, monthly meetings, and to print out 20 pages is a bit ridiculous every month. So since we're only changing like the first page or two, we just kept it. And the written notice, which is this, like I said, the school's version of the minutes or whatever. And all of the IPs for the year are here. The next section actually has nothing in it right now. But this is where I will keep any speech therapy, occupational therapy, ABA therapists, those sorts of evaluations and notes will go in here. If there's any major medical things, like he had a colonoscopy, and I can't think of, so upper or lower GI test done the first of the year. That actually is sitting in a pile to be filed, which to be filed means put in here. The next section is basically stuff on IEPs and that sort of thing. And extra notebook paper. I keep my stickers for dating the calendars in here, and some extra stickers back here, which I have not used. I put these in here in January and I've not used them, so I'll probably take them out and put them somewhere else. And then the back has just some stuff from other things. The other thing that I do use is I do use OneNote along with this. So basically when I'm done with this, I can shred, I could actually shred these, today and not have any issues. But I probably won't. I'll probably keep these in here until, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how next year goes, and we'll make that decision then. But all of this is also scanned into OneNote, except for this, and then the notes behind where the daily to-dos are, like daily to-dos, where those aren't, but those are easily scanned in, no big deal. So I keep everything in OneNote also, because like when we went to have our ABA evaluation, I was able to hand this notebook over to her, and she was able to get a good feel, like read through real quick and kind of get a good feel for, Tristan and some of the issues Tristan was having. However, since she wasn't able to go into it in depth, and, we don't want to copy a book, with OneNote, since all this is in there, plus some additional information, like additional medical information and stuff, I was able to send her an invite to OneNote, and she could read through our OneNote notebook and stay up to date. In fact, like, I've updated it since, and I'm like, you can feel free to read over that anytime. So yeah, so she's able to get in there and read through and see, you know, I emailed her today and said, you know, he had a bad week at school, or maybe it was last week, and said he had a bad week at school. And so she was able to go in there and pull up the behavior report from last week, look at it, and read the notes that the para and the teacher had sent attached to that. So it's really good for that. If I can figure out how to, first of all, just do that, I will. And if I can figure out how to do that and not give out all of our personal information, I will do that too. Because I think that would be really helpful for people. But I think that's it for now. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and if you think that there's anything that I might have left out. I'm always open to suggestions. So, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.